everybody, Cinema Sickness here with your daily sickness video, and as always, hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and it is that time of the week, once again, time to take a look at all the titles I've recently checked out, and for me to give you my brief thoughts on them. So as always, let's just dive right into this video, so you're not here all day long. So first up was Tremors 5, Bloodlines. Heard some mediocre things going into this, and yes, mediocre indeed. Didn't really find this one too enjoyable. We are following Burt Gummer again, which is great. I mean, as we always do nowadays, which is fine. Love the character. He's a lot of fun. Certainly like when he's the main character in a movie. It's always great. But now they're going down to South Africa because apparently there's graboids down there. But he's all, no, that can't be because I've contained them all to the United States, but no, certainly they got them and ass splashers and whatnot down in South Africa, so they got to go down there, and Jamie Kennedy joins them, and then we end up finding out, spoiler alert here, we end up finding out that Jamie Kennedy might probably is the son of Burt, and they got that whole thing going on where they're trying to battle these graboids and whatnots and stay alive, and they find the remains of a giant, like, pretty historic fossilized graboid down there, and I guess that's where they came from, and it just didn't really offer anything new to the movie, I felt. I think they were trying to, like, kind of like the origin story, or like of the graboids and whatnot, but in the end, it just didn't really seem all that interesting. It didn't really seem like it was bringing anything really all that new to the table. It just kind of felt like, hey everybody, here's another Tremors movie for you. Give us your money. It really felt like a cash in my opinion. So I can't really say this is one you need to check out. I'd say if you're a big fan of the Tremors series and you really want to see it, sure, knock yourself out. There are definitely worse films you could spend your time with, but if you're just a mediocre fan or you just really have no interest in this, then no, you don't need to see it. It was just a very mediocre film in my opinion. I have no interest in really ever watching this film again, and I love the Tremors series, but for this one, I'm just going to say, stay away. It just wasn't all that exciting. It wasn't great. It felt sort of cheap. I can't say this is one you really need to check out, unfortunately. Alright, so next up is one I can't physically hold up and show you, as I saw this one in the theaters, and that was Finding Dory. And of course, as everybody else has done, I'm going to say, I loved it. Thought it was absolutely fantastic. Great movie. It does start off a little weird, though. At first, it almost seems like we're just going to have Finding Nemo again, like the same story, and I got kind of worried at first because I was thinking I don't want to just watch Finding Nemo again, but now with Dory. Like, I don't want the same exact story. We got to change it up. Give me something new here. It also seemed to zip by really fast. Like the whole story of Dory losing her parents just seemed to like fly right by, and I'm kind of thinking, what's going on here? We get the same story. Is it being told, like, are we being rushed through this story? What's going on? Luckily, that's only the very first beginning of the movie. Once we get to the sea life rehabilitation marina where they take them all to, then things start to pick up, and that's when the real story comes into play, in my opinion. The whole movie, of course, is about Dory trying to find her parents. She had lost her parents really long time ago, but of course with her memory she has forgotten about it, and then also remembers her parents, remembers that she lost her parents, and she wants to go find them, and it's about her trying to get back to her parents and the craziness that ensues with that. Of course, we are being joined by Nemo, and Marlin's back. I love the characters of the sea lions. They're great, and the crazy what is he, like a pelican or whatever. I love him. Of course, the octopus, whose name I completely forget, I apologize, but I love him. He was absolutely fantastic. Great new character, one of the best new characters in the Finding Nemo franchise. I absolutely loved him. So I thought it was really well done, very enjoyable. Like I said, at first, it kind of throws you for a loop. You're kind of thinking, where are we going here? This might not be that good of a movie. And then very quickly, just 180s, it becomes something pretty awesome and really fun, and a very enjoyable, entertaining film about Dory trying to find her parents. I won't spoil it for you, whether she does or not at the end. I'm sure you've heard by now what happens, but I won't spoil it for you, but great ending, very awesome. Definitely gets you. You know, it has that great Pixar. There's Pixar moments that get you a bit choked up, especially at the very beginning. It's very sad when she loses her parents. Very, 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 very heartbreaking at the very beginning of the movie. And certainly some more heartbreaking, sad moments throughout the film. So absolutely fantastic. And I want to say one last thing before I just say, see the movie. It was amazing. If you don't see it in theaters, at the very least, when it comes out to Blu-ray, pick it up. It was great. But I will say this also, wait till after the credits. Definitely, if you're a fan of Finding Nemo, wait until the credits are done rolling. There's a really good after credits scene that is fantastic. You need to see it. Again, if you are a fan of Finding Nemo, you are going to absolutely love what you get at the very end of the credits. So definitely stick around. All right, and then we got some Parker Posey in Party Girl. Yeah, not a fan of this one either, unfortunately. Really felt like this was just trying to very much just cash in on the early 90s club scene. That really was what they were just going for, and it really felt like a cash in. Felt very stereotypical, like they were just really stereotyping all the different like club kids from the early 90s, and the music and just everything. And it just seemed really like over the top. But it's this whole sort of story about Parker and Parker's character and her having this for her like kind of falling in love with this like food cart vendor and the whole weirdness that goes on there, because she has her issues and he doesn't really have issues. He's kind of straight-laced, but of course that's the problem. He's kind of, you know, focused and knows what he wants to do and everything like that, and she's kind of just crazy party girl, and he sort of doesn't really mesh, but yet they still like each other, and blah 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 blah, and it's just really long and drawn out and very slow, and I just did not care for this movie. This was definitely one of those movies where you're checking your watch, when the hell is this thing over? And it just seemed to go on. Yes, it was only an hour. Like I'm looking at the time. I'm like, how long was this movie? It's only an hour and a half. I swear this movie was like 2 hours long. It just felt like it would just not stop going. So I would not recommend this one. And I love Parker Posey. I think she's great, but not so much in this movie. Again, just kind of felt like they were just sort of trying to make a movie for club kids. Like, hey kids, are you in the party scene? Are you in the club scene? This movie's for you. Give us your cash. Get another cash in. So, can't really say I recommend this one. Really wasn't enjoyable. Very slow. Very just meh story. Could care less. And then I checked out, and this is a bit of a spoiler here, as I haven't even told you guys that I picked this one up yet. We have The Trip To Bountiful. This was an interesting movie. This one I did enjoy. It is about this elderly woman who wants to get back to her hometown. She has all these great memories of her hometown. She lives like in the city now. She lives there with her son and her son's wife, who's just a complete bitch. I just want to smack her the entire time. She's so rude and ignorant and just even at the end of the movie when like she's trying to like be a better person, you just like, no, you're still awful. you hate this woman. But the mother wants to get back to her hometown and to see like her old house and her friends and to see this town. She has all these great memories of what her town once was and what it used to be. Of course, her son I think would let her go, but it's the wife who's like, no, you don't need to go, stay here, blah blah. So really the wife's kind of like just putting her foot down, and the husband's sort of just going along with it. He's sort of whipped, but the mother ends up running away, basically running away from home and going to Bountiful. And the whole movie's really about her trip to Bountiful and all the stuff she goes through to get there, and people she meets, and all the her bus rides and all the stuff that goes onto her trip to Bountiful. Nothing too crazy goes on, but it's just about her trip out there. And then when she gets out there and realizes that her town is no longer really even there. The last person she even knew who lived there just like died like 2 weeks before. Her house is it's all just run down and in complete shambles. There's no farms anymore. They've overworked the fields, and there's just nothing left. There's nothing. It's just dirt and collapsed houses, and just there's really no town anymore. In fact, when she's headed out there, she keeps saying she wants to buy a train ticket to Bountiful, and everybody's like, where the hell is Bountiful? Apparently a train used to run there years ago, but now there's nothing there. There's no need for a train to stop there, so that she has to take a train like as close as she can get, and then take bus rides there. So there's no like nothing out there anymore, and she gets out there and realizes this, and it's kind of just her coming to realization that she's sort of living in the past, and the past is great and all, but she's kind of got to live in the present, and of course her son coming to that terms as well, and also the wife sort of coming to those terms also. So interesting movie. I did enjoy it. I would recommend checking this one out. Definitely a fun sort of film. I don't think this is going to be for everybody, but if you just want a fun drama, it's definitely worth seeing in my opinion. And then Cinema Sickness Jr. and I sat down and checked out Sesame Street, 25 Wonderful Years, a musical celebration. He definitely enjoyed this, and I sort of enjoyed it. This was great and definitely a fun trip down memory lane. It had older songs I remember from when I was a kid, and had newer stuff too that I wasn't as familiar with. But why I didn't like this as much is it's done kind of like in a clip show sort of it's not like an eclipse sort of way, where Big Bird is at a park and he wants to start this like musical group, and he needs to find singers and dancers and I think he's like fa-la-lars and stuff like that. He needs to find, so he's trying to find all these people to start this band, and in the process he's going through all these memories of all these songs, which would kind of be okay. The problem is they don't necessarily play the full songs. They do like clips. Like they start to play a song and then it only plays like part of it. I was really hoping that this was literally just, I mean, it shows you all the different songs. I was literally hoping this was just going to be, here's this song and then that song and then that song. And like, it wasn't necessarily going to be in a clip show format. It was just going to be, here's all the songs. I would have been okay with that, just watching the songs from beginning to end. No story in between. Next song, story, next song from beginning to end, no story. Next, just give me the songs. That's all I need. I just need those songs. I don't need all this story in between, linking all the songs together and not even getting the full songs. I don't need that. So I thought this could have been better, but it was still fun. And if you're, a big fan of Sesame Street, you grew up watching Sesame Street, it is a fun trip down memory lane. There's, again, all these great songs that I definitely grew up with, and again, some newer ones that I enjoyed as well. And Cinema Sickness Jr. definitely enjoyed it checking this out. But again, like I said, could have been better, could have been done better. It just didn't need the big production that it was given, in my opinion. It seemed like too much was thrown into this. Just sort of should have just been, here's the songs on the DVD, enjoy. They could have made it very simple, very easy, and I would have loved it a bit more, in my opinion. But still, very cool, nevertheless. And if you're a fan of Sesame Street, something worth picking up and checking out, because the music's some of the best stuff about Sesame Street. All right, and then I checked out some train tapes here. This is great. We have The Magic of Lionel Trains and Great Toy Train Layouts of America, Part 3. Both absolutely fantastic. I know these aren't going to be for everybody. If you're a complete nerd like me and you love model trains, then you're going to definitely enjoy this. I love watching these. It is amazing the stuff these people build. I think model trains are so cool, and I would love to do model trains. I don't feel, even though I am, I'm an artistic person. I went to school for photography, and all during high school I painted and sculpted and all stuff like that. I certainly am artistic. I don't think my skills are nearly good enough to do train layouts. Just watching these people build these huge bridges, and the way they paint the backgrounds, and they build these buildings and houses and all this stuff they paint, and how much detail they put into it, and how realistic they make all this stuff look, because you want your landscape looking like it's a real thing. It's just absolutely amazing, the stuff these people do, and how much time and dedication and effort and passion they have for their hobby, and I love that. I've said it a million times before, I'm a huge fan of collecting. I think everybody in the world should have a collection of something. And I don't necessarily just mean, movies and stuff like that. I mean, whatever it might be, including trains. Toy train collectors, I think, are so cool, and I love seeing toy train layouts. My father had one. We're actually right where I'm sitting right now. Actually, used to be a toy train layout. My dad had this big oval shaped toy train layout with buildings on it, and he had laid out roads, and he had houses on it and stuff, and ran the train around. It was really cool. It wasn't anything too fancy. It was pretty low key. But my grandfather, on the other hand, he had a big train layout with all kinds of different trains running on it and stuff like that. And he got really, really into it. I mean, he did all the tunnels and hills and backgrounds and houses and all the detail. You're putting up the phone lines and whatnot and all that stuff. You had everything running around. It was really, really cool. What happened to that? My grandfather passed away a few years ago. I don't know what happened to his toy train layout, but gotta ask my grandmother sometime about that. And where are his toy trains? I saw my dad's toy trains. I wonder where his are. Anyway, get ahead of myself now, thinking about things. But I think toy trains are so cool. Living here in Pennsylvania, I'm like 30 minutes away from just like the train capital, Stroudsburg, which has like the Toy Train Museum and the Choo Choo Barn, and then like 30 minutes the other way we have Roadside America, which is a big train layout. I grew up with trains. I love trains. I think they're great. I think model trains are so cool. And watching these are absolutely fascinating just to see what people have built. And some of these train layouts are great because, of course, what they're going to show you are absolutely fantastic, superb, over-the-top layouts. They're not just going to show you some guy who has a train running around like a Christmas tree, or some guy who just sets up his train in his basement and doesn't really do much with it. No, they're showing you epic, amazing, fantastic, over-the-top, just blow your mind away train layouts. So I love watching these. Are great. Every time I come across things like this, I have to pick them up and check them out. They're actually fantastic watches. Again, I know these aren't going to be for everybody, but I would recommend them if you're into model trains. They're great. All right, and then The Legend of Hercules 3D. Went into this one hearing some bad things as well. I heard this wasn't a very good movie, and in the end, kind of had to agree. It was just mediocre. I just thought it wasn't anything all that spectacular. I thought it could have been told better. I thought that was the main downfall of this movie, was just like, why wasn't it told better? That it could have been a much better, more epic story. Also, if you know your history at all, there's a lot of inaccuracies in this movie, as far as like the time period it's supposed to be taking around. Tons and tons and tons of things where you're like, huh. Also a lot of mistakes and goofs. In fact, I was actually noticing mistakes and goofs and stuff in this movie that weren't even listed on IMDb. Things like scenes where people are fighting and you see like they're wearing like white like shorts underneath their outfits, or they jump and you're like, that was, what are you wearing, like white boxer shorts, like what's going on here? So things like that, and just all these like weird inaccuracies and goofs and stuff. It felt like maybe the movie was just like rushed, perhaps. I don't know. I will say this though, did it entertain me? It kept me entertained. It was alright. The 3D looked nice as well. I will give it that. So it did keep me entertained. I'm going to say, if this is a movie you want to check out, if you're interested in seeing it, it's not something you need to avoid. Definitely check it out if you can get it for cheap, or watch it free online or something like that. If it's something you're interested in seeing, sure, check out The Legend of Hercules. It wasn't horrible. It kept me entertained. I can't say that I regretted watching it. It wasn't like Tremors 5 or Party Girl after I was done watching it. I thought to myself, boy, kind of wish I would have watched something else tonight instead. No, this at least kept me entertained after I watched it. I was kind of like, all right, I checked it out. Do I really want to watch it again? Not so much, but at least I was entertained. It's just, for me, personally, I thought the story could have been told better, could have been more epic, could have been more interesting. But all in all, not a horrible movie, just not a great movie either. And then finally we have, this is great, definitely wanted to check this out when I got this, and that is Satisfaction on Laserdisc. This was a real fun movie. Also great. This is a Justine Bateman movie, not a Julia Roberts movie. This is actually before, this came out in 1988. When was Pretty Woman? Like 90, 91. So this is a few years before Pretty Woman and Julia Roberts became a big star. So this is actually pre-Julia Roberts fame, and Justine Bateman was actually the bigger star of this movie. This is actually her movie. She's the main character of this movie. It's about this rock group, mostly all girls until one of their members leaves and they end up getting a replacement keyboardist, and happens to be a man, and them going out to this kind of like hoity-toity Richie beach area, and them getting this gig playing at a club out there run by Liam Neeson, and their epic story and their crazy wild adventures of them in the 80s on this, at the beach, for the summer playing in a club and all the drama that happens and meeting boys, and Justine Bateman and Liam Neeson end up having a bit of a fling going on, and what goes on there. One of their members apparently has a bit of a drug issue and overdoses at one point. Two of our members here fall in love with each other. Of course, we have like the kind of shy newbie to the band and the angry rebel kind of gang member chick of the group who has definitely the most attitude and whatnot. And I don't love blah, but of course they end up falling in love with each other, and it's a very 80s story, but it's a really fun 80s story, and I really enjoyed this. I would definitely have to say, if you're a fan of just great 80s films, this is definitely one to check out. And apparently a lot of you guys out there saw this movie in the theaters. I was surprised. When I mentioned I was watching this on social media, a lot of people have comments saying, I remember seeing that in the theaters. So I was really surprised by how many people actually went and saw this one in the theaters. That was great. Absolutely fantastic. This is definitely a movie that went under my 80s radar. I didn't really even know about this movie until recently, so definitely was excited when I was able to get it on Laserdisc and finally check it out. So great movie. Definitely recommend it if you're a fan of just fun 80s flicks. This is definitely one to add to your collection and to check out. Fantastic. Already looking forward to watching it again somewhere down the line. So there you go, guys. That was it. That is everything I've recently checked out. Not as big of an amount of stuff as usual because, like I said, I've been doing a lot of work down here in the library, putting some new things up, moving some things around. So there were a few nights of, a few movie list nights because I was just busy doing stuff. But still, definitely a lot of awesome stuff. Again, I'm pretty much, let's see, I'll definitely recommend Satisfaction. Like I said, Legend of Hercules. See it if you want to see it. It wasn't horrible, just could have been better. Definitely recommending anything that's toy train layout related. If you like Sesame Street, Worth Seeing. Trip to Bountiful, decent drama, would recommend it. But in the end, Party Girl and Finding Dory. Finding Dory, definitely see it. This was fantastic. Loved it. If you're a Disney Pixar fan, definitely see it. But again, Party Girl and Tremors 5, not so good. Very slow, mediocre films that I would have to say not really worth seeing, in my opinion, unless you really, really, really have to. Otherwise, just kind of stay away. So, all right, guys, again, that is it. So, like I always say, thank you guys so much for checking this video out. Be sure to hit that like button down below. Also, if you want to see a new video from me every single day, hit that subscribe button and you're going to get one. And also, if you want to grab yourself a Cinema Sickness t-shirt, hoodie, tank top, hoodie, buttons, hats, kids gear, all kinds of cool Cinema Sickness gear, head over to cinemasickness.spreadshirt.com where you can get yourself some of that. And finally, if you want to support new content, just show your thanks and appreciation for these daily videos, head over to patreon.com/cinemasickness, where every tiny little bit helps and is very much greatly appreciated. So again, that is it. Thanks for watching. Have a great one, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.